So last week I saw Equalizer 3, a movie where a guy kills people, and that's pretty much it. I miss those type of movies. So it's worth knowing I have not seen Equalizer 1 and 2. I will get to them eventually, but I didn't feel like watching the first two going to this third one. I just wanted to see it, and if it's a movie that stands on its own, then I'm going to enjoy it, right? If it's so heavily reliant on the first and second movie, I don't need to, you know, I don't need to. I think that says a lot about the movie itself, and that you need to rely so much on that. I'm so like Marvel kind of has done this. Star Wars, you have to see all these things, and it's just like I don't need to see it. And I'm a huge fan of those franchises, not now at the time, right? Because everything's a freaking disaster at Disney. We'll get to that later. But with the Equalizer 3, I went into this movie just kind of wanting to relax and enjoy a movie where Denzel Washington just kills every motherfucker out there. And that's bad. And you know what? That's what I got. And I went to this movie. It was towards the midnight showing. Not many people there, just a few, but enough, right? Just peaceful, very peaceful time at the theaters. Late showings, like 11 o'clock. And it just made me remember like why I just love movies. I love going to the theater, I love movies so much because The Equalizer 3 is not a great movie by any standards. It's not like this flawless picture, right? It has a great actor who's charismatic, a movie star, something that we're lacking today. A charismatic movie star who kills bad guys. That's basically what the movie is. That's all it is. There's no underground theme there's no themes that are like you gotta just like you just pain you. And I'm not saying don't have those movies. Some of those movies are my favorite movies of all time, like Inception and stuff like that. Even in The Dark Knight, even is just a comic book movie, but the themes in that are just like it makes yourself think on certain subjects as well. I look at Equalizer 3, and I will probably buy this movie on Blu-ray because it's really violent. Um, I usually don't have an issue with violence. I don't have an issue with violence at all unless I feel some sort of distaste. But I've never feel that way. I've never felt that way. The Saw sequels are I haven't even watched most of them because I've heard they're just gross. And part of me is a little nervous. I will watch them eventually. I actually own all of them on Blu-ray, but part of me is nervous too, just because I heard there's no story. And I love the original Saw, like the first Saw film. But even that's not that gory to me. Scream is pretty gory, but like I didn't see that as too gory as a kid or anything. But like the Terrifier films, I really enjoyed those. Those are the goriest movies I've ever seen in my life, probably. Equalizer 3 is surprisingly really gory, and honestly, at times maybe like go, ooh, I don't know if I'm like fully enjoying watching it, but like it's cool. And it's a bit of a slow burn. And spoilers, by the way, we're gonna talk about some parts of the movie and just spoil it a little bit because the movie's been out for a bit, but I'm not gonna spoil much of it. But basically, Denzel Washington is so likable and charismatic, obviously, because he's Denzel, but he's this man who, obviously he kills bad guys, but he's someone who looks at this town that he's now in, right? He's fallen there into some certain circumstances. He gets injured. Now he's in this town in Italy. And he it's a bit of a slow burn because the character's getting used to the area that he's in. And there was a point in the movie I was like, okay, like I get it. I kind of understand why we're just slowing down here. I wish maybe it should have been paced a little bit better, but I was enjoying myself. Not every movie has to be boom, 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 boom all the time. But once it gets started, like middle of the movie and stuff happens, like the action is so well directed. Like I couldn't believe like some certain things were just in the way they were shot. It was honestly like on the level of like John Wick and like some stuff like that. Like John Wick, very similar, like guy who just kills people, like kind of just like this whole movie. And Denzel Washington is so damn good. And I like he's the reason to see it, obviously. This he's the star, but he's also just this guy who's, you know, he warms up to this city, this town that he's in, and the bad guys that are coming in trying to ruin everything with drugs and just all the crime going on in the world, and just see him take care of situations and support the locals. Like I've seen people critical of how he's kind of perfect in this movie, like in regards to he's flawless, and those characters aren't interesting. And I agree. And like I've said before in my previous podcast, one of the biggest reasons I have trouble with many of the big blockbuster movies, especially with certain female leads, is that they create a flawless character, and flawless characters aren't interesting. Here's the difference, because that is a flaw with Equalizer 3. It's why I said it's not a perfect movie. This character is flawless, and he's in this movie specifically, like I didn't really feel any pain with him. But in regards to, and then again, I have not seen one and two, so I don't, if something happened traumatically with the character, I don't know. I'm just judging it off this. He protects this town. That's basically what he is. But he's played by a movie star, Denzel Washington. That's the difference. I talked about in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And what I talked about there was that character. I'm honestly forgetting her name. But the character that was just so unlikable. I just kind of wanted to forget Dial of Destiny in its entirety. Phoebe Waller-Bridges' character. I said in my podcast episode, if she was played by a movie star actress, likable actress, that character could have been saved because it was poorly written on the page. Denzel's character here isn't the best written, but he's played by fucking Denzel Washington. And that's why it's good and likable. That's where the power of an actor and his superstardom can really take advantage, right? Can really shine. And that's what I love so much about Equalizer 3. It's a movie star killing a bunch of fucking people. Like, just amazing stuff. And it's well directed. There's no shaky cam making me dizzy, I can see everything that's going on. And another flaw with this movie you could look at are the villains. Like the villains, there's nothing crazy about the villains. Like I wanted to see them die because they were kind of whiny people that thought they were better than what they were. And to see Denzel kill them, spoilers, he kills a lot of folks in this. To see him kill individual people, it was just very satisfying. Like these punk dudes who think they're better than what they were, and then you just see this experienced guy come in and just know, like, I got this, dude. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Like this, there's a scene specifically in a restaurant that I freaking loved. And the whole ending sequence, despite how I didn't really love the villain character, it is so well handled. It's almost like a haunted house. And it was almost like a horror movie, especially with the gore that they're putting out here. Like it was really well done. And I can say that I really enjoyed Equalizer 3. Is it a top 10 movie of the year for me? No. But it was refreshing to just go to a movie and have a good time and just see something that typically isn't made really anymore. Just guys just shooting just guys just shooting bad guys. Like these movies were made all the time back in the day. And now they're just not. So it's really refreshing to see something like that. I really encourage people to go see it. And I did not see one and two. So I was going in with a completely open mind. I had heard things about one and two. I had heard they were pretty good. And that was that. But I just wanted to go into three and just sit down and enjoy it. And that's what I did. And it was awesome. So if I had to recommend Equalizer 3, like, yeah, go see it. If you're, sensitive to gore, maybe don't, but it is really gory. But if you just want to sit down, relax, and enjoy a really fun movie, that's what Equalizer 3 is. Really fun. And it's so nice to see a movie star on camera like Denzel Washington. Just so great.